What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Birdman. Just wanted to bring you along with me as I prepare for Pocono Raceway in the NASCAR rally car, running the number 42 car with Young's Motorsports, and just thought I'd give you a little bit of a first-person perspective of what I'm doing to train and get ready for the race this Saturday. So wanted to get you guys kind of on board with me, and already took a few laps, 10 laps or so. Best time so far is a 56.69, so nothing crazy. I'm not changing the setup or doing anything like that. I actually haven't checked whether or not I just realized I'm still in the Charlotte setup. So let me go ahead and switch it over to Pocono, and probably end up going a little bit faster, hopefully. We'll see. Car feels pretty tight overall. So maybe that's going to be fairly similar to what Charlotte's going to be like, but yeah. So anyways, want to get going here, and I'm just going to, you're not going to hear the game very well, more just the outside stuff, but I'm going to have this turned up all the way, and yeah, we'll see what you guys can hear. Just doing this for fun. I want to show you guys kind of what I'm up to. Typically, I don't want to get too many laps in on the simulator because it's not going to be exactly like real life. But I do just want to get the ins and out of the pits, just a general feel for the track, and just keep it very high level in my understanding and approach. So yeah, you can't hear that very well. Let me see if I can get this turned up for you a little bit. The volume. Okay, that should be better. I think you guys should be able to hear that fairly decently. But yeah, overall, just want to kind of get a couple laps in. We are on fresh tires. Got a new track map on the upper right. Okay, this is definitely a better car for Pocono. I actually got loose for the first time. Charlotte's setup was way too tight. So we're gonna try this setup together. A little bit looser on the exit there compared to the Charlotte setup. You can tell we're already just a lot faster. Try to roll as much speed as possible. Commit to the throttle when we can. Yeah, not bad. A little bit of a wall tap. That's what I did last year in the truck. First flying lap. Didn't slow down quite as much as I needed to initially there. Oh yeah, well we definitely have just way more straight line speed, just period. Okay, yeah. I like that. I don't know how realistic it is to be breaking past the one board, but that's again why I don't put too much attention to running on the sim. It gets pretty close to real life in terms of the lap times, but how you get that lap time, I don't think matches up super well. Let me try to brake more for this corner, get it more turned, back on the power earlier. Yeah, probably had a bit more to get on the exit there. Not really rolling the center as much as just committing to the throttle on the exit. That's better. A little bit worse on the exit though. Trying to be very intentional with, come on. There we go. Trying to be very intentional with my initial hit on the brakes. 55.4, fastest lap of my session so far. Now let's act like we're passing someone on the outside where we can't get all the way down to the bottom. Could have committed more to the power on the outside there. I'm going to do the same thing here. Pressure on the outside. I don't think we're going to be ending up that high in like lane 2.5, lane 3. Here you kind of just want to get a good run. If I remember correctly, this is just, turn 3 is just important for just getting a good run off the corner and setting up for the pass into turn 1, leading into potentially completing it in turn 2. So you do something like this where you pop out to the inside, brake hard, get in the power as early as you dare to try and make the corner, which we were able to do there, which is good. So that's like how I imagine some passes might go. I imagine it's going to be pretty crucial to just get the power down as early as you can, exiting turn 3. 180, 187 down the straightaway. Can this stick? Can this stick? I can stick, okay. Maybe not in real life, but at the very least on the simulator. Where do we get to entering turn 2? Let's see. 184. Not bad at all. Yeah, I think the track really wants you to commit to the throttle earlier, but it's just so hard to find that balancing point between being too tight on the exit and too slow in the middle of the corner. Kind of just try to run this lane 2. I feel like that could be a potentially fast way around the track on the top lane. Now let's try to get into the pits. So I'm gonna wave my hand, tell everyone, hey, I'm getting off, hey. And then you have to slow down. Okay. So I'm already way lower than to pit speed, so.
5, 3, 2, 1. Right here.
Let's practice our pit out. And then switch my feet. Car goes up. Oh, a little bit too much. So when you fire off a little bit loose here. Getting a better run onto my potentially fast lap. So we'll just see what we can do here. I really tried using up the exit more, but you see we just scrubbed so much speed that we're actually losing, when it would have been better to just scrub less speed and have it a bit more pointed in the center. That wasn't bad. That wasn't too bad of a corner, but we were definitely under the limit of what was possible. Let's try like one more to see if we can get a better run out of turn 1. Yeah, so I'm just trying to get too much on the entry, and we're scrubbing too much speed in the middle of the corner to try to get the car turned. So that's our signal that we need to back up the entry a bit more. So consistently, so many times in a row. I'm just gonna try to roll a bit more speed. You can see how we're actually gaining. That wasn't bad. I mean, that wasn't a bad turn 3. Okay, so that time we prioritized the exit. We had a good, nice, and easy turn in the middle of the corner. Or at least I should say a compliant car. Lost some time there. We just weren't quite on the limit as we were the last lap. Losing a little bit of the tire. Maybe that's the approach. Let's see how we did on sector 2 there. Lost 2.5 tenths. But that's between turn 2 and turn 3. Like, that's a pretty decent line, I would say. So I'm really focusing these sessions. I'm really focused on getting an understanding of what the line might be like. And notice how I say might, because I'm not committed to an exact idea of how exactly the track's gonna run. Like, I know a lot of guys do the mid-apex, let it be squirrely on the exit sort of situation. Like here, they're just gonna commit to throttle, and they're gonna run a little bit wide to the wall, but they're not gonna hit the wall because there's enough grip in the car. You just have to trust that fact. Getting down to the inside. See, I think when you run wide of that yellow line, you're losing. You need to make sure that you stay on that yellow line. I'm gonna pit for new tires again, just to practice. Yeah, still could have gone a little bit deeper there. And again, I don't know if we're coming right off the track like that, or if we need to, you know, run the whole little turn 3 pit lane entry.
3, 2, 1, right here.
So this time we're going to exit the pits and stay under the yellow line, just in case it's something that we do in real life. I assume it is. Grab the switch.
That's it, go.
I think I accidentally let the car die. Are they really going to make us stay? I just can't remember. Unfortunately, they don't let us record our races. Let's just assume we do that, though. It won't be like that for qualifying, though. It is actually realistic for the car to fire off loose. Okay. Try to get a faster lap. Not that it really matters. Let's just try. We'll focus on the exit here. Try to stay down to the bottom. We didn't commit as early as we could have. There wasn't enough energy in the car on the exit. Enough resistance. Overcooked the entry there is because I overcompensated. We got a pretty good launch out of that corner though. It wasn't a bad lap. I think I want to try to see if I can make this next lap a bit better. Try coming into the throttle a little bit sooner, which did seem to pay off. I opened up the corner entry a little bit more as well to try to get a better angle to the middle of the corner. Oof. Okay, I'm not going to beat that turn 2. At least not in today's session. I didn't want to fully commit and scrub a bunch of speed on the exit there, but that was a better lap. Not too bad. And I'm sure we're still like a second off of the pole time. Yeah. Not good enough angle at the middle of the corner. Let's just try to get into the pits again. Yeah, that turn 2 was pretty spicy. The previous lap. Not that time. That was okay.
3, 2, 1. Right here.
Okay. That about does it for this go around. Hope you guys enjoyed that, and yeah, this is my little, like this, just wear my little Kyle Busch hat, and then this is what I use to record all my little new Insta360 camera sort of footage. So cool, guys. Thanks for coming along with me, and hopefully you enjoyed this. Maybe learned something interesting and or new. And yeah, peace out. Birdman out.